Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Contour community meeting. Today is June 9th, 2020, and per usual, we got some status updates. I'm going to do a roadmap update as well and talk a little about IR2 proxy. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. And I think, Michael, you're on first.
Yeah, so the first thing we wanted to get everybody a heads up, we've talked about it in the past, but it's been a few months now, was our goal to kind of deprecate, not kind of, we will deprecate IngressRoute completely when we ship Contour 1.6 at the end of this month. So at the end of June.
Yeah, it's better to say we deprecated it ages ago. Now we're actually
Yeah, yeah. So good call, Nick. So yeah, we deprecated along with the changes to HTTP proxy, and now we're going to completely remove it. So not only you won't be able to get support calls for it, but if you upgrade, you need to change all your YAML and pod specifications. Otherwise, things will just not work. We know that some of our users and community is still using IngressRoute and have been slowly updating to HTTP proxy. But our goal is, make the changes now. If you need help or if you have any concerns, voice them now and be loud. Otherwise, we're going to continue down this goal of complete removal. IR2 proxy, the work that happened, that James that drove a few months ago, is available. You can use it to convert your Ingress resources. And if you have any issues, obviously, please log them. Any questions or concerns on this? And
so
I was going to say the next thing, the reason why we're doing this. Is that what you're going to say, Nick?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Say it. That's fine.
Yeah, so two things. Yeah, so the reason why we're doing this is just to let us move faster on the HTTP proxy CRD code without needing to keep the IngressRoute code in sync. It's a bit tricky at the moment. There's stuff that I want to do to HTTP proxy that I can't yet without leaving a lot of legacy stuff there. So yeah, unless anyone has objections, then I'm actually going to PR this in the next week or two to remove the the IngressRoute code from Contour in master, so that then that will then unblock me to do some more work on the HTTP proxy code. So yeah, if you have reasons for me not to do that, then yeah, you need to speak up now or very soon, please.
Absolutely, and we'll help whoever needs help in migrating their pod specs or their YAMLs. So the next item is a roadmap update. Jonas, if you don't mind opening up the link really quickly, and go to the files change so we can kind of pretty display this. So we've kind of updated the roadmap.md under the community repo for Contour to add a little bit more clarity in terms of how you add items to the roadmap and what does the current roadmap mean. And I want everybody to kind of take this with a grain of salt. This is an indication of us of where we want to take Contour from a community standpoint. This is where we want to make some investments. These investments are driven based on requirements that we heard from you, our users, and kind of put clarity for everyone in terms of how is this project structured, and and if anybody is interested in any of these features, they know when they can come in and pitch into Contour, or potentially they could come in earlier and we can deliver some of these items earlier. So think of this as a blueprint for how the team is going to operate for the next 9 months or so, and it gives you visibility, gives you clarity of execution, but it is not a commitment. So our priorities and these requirements could change based on community feedback, roadblocks, or other things that are coming up, or we could actually come in and get a huge community contribution and do something earlier because it was more important at that point in time. But if you have any feedback on this roadmap, or you want to add items to it, whether that's items that you want to contribute or items that you feel strongly about, this roadmap.md, the file, gives you a blueprint for how to engage with us on this. Thank you, Jonas.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any questions, comments on the roadmap? So I have one question. For the roadmap here, we have a description here. Are these going to be tied into epics or something like that?
Generally try not to tie these things to any specific ticket. Some of them do have a ticket, but these are like high level, so people can understand that we're adding a certain improvement in a specific area without really getting into the nitty-gritty details, because things could change. But each one of these items has a ticket in our backlog and GitHub projects that's linked earlier in this document. It's like, I think it's like you're only seeing the diff now, but if you saw the full document, it has it up at the top. I think you actually have to go to the repo to see there. Oh, there it is. Oh, I didn't even know that button existed.
Yeah, so there's a link over to the projects board there. I was just wondering if we wanted to link here to the epic or something similar, or the issue that we're using to track it, or for ease of use.
Yeah, I understand. Like, we don't have any epics for all of them. That's why I didn't do it. So we can see about doing that in a V2 of this roadmap.
Sure. Cool. Thanks. All right.
I was curious, the one roadmap item, if you can go back, if you don't mind, under next to general self-service capabilities.
So we've heard from multiple users, including a lot of the engagement we do with the Knative community, that they wanted a better way to request resources in Contour, where it's not this delegation model that we have. They wanted to be able to get some of this stuff done in a self-service way. And we haven't really dug into that to see what it means and how we can produce that type of engagement model. But we've heard it enough times that it's worthwhile to put it on the roadmap so we can talk about it and see if that's something that we want to enable. The other item that's not there in the roadmap, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I know we don't have, like, I can't really answer it any way better because there's a lot of things that are still a little bit unknown. And that's why this is also all the way to the far end of the roadmap. Give us enough time to start collecting that feedback and see if this is a use case that kind of meets the bar across the board with the rest of our community. But we've heard it from folks that have been engaging with us for a while now.
And did you say there's issues that are associated to each of these themes, or is it a collection of issues?
Some of them is a collection of issues. Some of them have one issue. This self-service one, you can go to issue 2151 here. I'll paste the link.
Yeah, the reason I asked that too, I thought maybe it would be a good idea that if it's a single issue that captures this as either under the theme or the description, actually just have a hyperlink that someone could see this and then they just go right to the issue.
Yeah, so this issue 2151 that I linked is really where it came down to. And essentially what happened is the crux of the issue is that when they're upgrading from version 1 to version 2 of the services, they are encountering some outages because of how Contour and Envoy get updated. It's not an atomic operation, and they end up getting issues with connectivity. So as part of that transition, and the requirement was one of the things that we talked about was, can you change how Contour operates here to be a little bit more of a self-service way, so they have complete control over that transition between the services. I don't want to put any more clarity to this because we haven't had the time to dig into this. This is a very expensive work item to do, and it changes how Contour works with HTTP Proxy. It changes the design. So if we are going to decide to do it, it has to be for a very good reason, and we need to spend enough time to understand it and architect it.
Yeah, I think
Nick, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's important also to note here that the other sort of broader use case that's covered by that sort of big heading is some of them are stuff around part of a lot of the design of HTTP Proxy is about giving the cluster administrator sort of control rights over things and requiring the cluster administrator to do things in order for config to make it into to the envoys at the end of the day. And one of the things that people have asked for is that some users want more magic behavior like IngressRoute does, where you can say create multiple, you can have the same FQDN specified in multiple documents and have those like all merged into one. So Daniel, in terms of the sort of stuff that we've talked about in the service APIs, this is that sort of merging behavior, that some users definitely want. And so, this is to sort of say, hey, we've heard that you want that. I don't know what we're going to do about it yet, but we've heard that you want it, and we're going to, put some time on the roadmap to do something about it later.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for asking. This is a good discussion. All right. Any other questions?
I don't think we left a lot of time for people to ask questions about the IngressRoute removal. Can I officially ask, please, if you're on this meeting and you care about that, could you please, let's have a few seconds for people to actually register objections.
I think one of the guys that cares about it a lot is not here today. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you when we talk about this next week at the Asia-friendly time zone, we're gonna hear a little bit more about it.
Yes, I agree. But so that's why I won't do anything about this until we've heard from someone who I know is actually using this for real. But I'm pretty sure that he has already started using IATA Proxy. The other thing that we didn't mention there was that I believe IATA Proxy with this TCP Proxy support now covers pretty much everything from IngressRoute. If anybody does use it and find something missing, like I said, please log issues to add support for anything, and we'll get onto that as soon as we can, so that the tool is able to actually help people with all of their IngressRoute migration needs. Sorry, Steve. I think the next thing is Steve's thing.
No worries. That might be an easy place to contribute if folks want to contribute as well, ripping out IngressRoute, because it's just deleting stuff all over the place.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Let's have Jonas Rosland do it. Come on, Jonas.
Yeah, sure.
Let's increase your PRs.
Yeah, sure. I can do Go.
Search for IngressRoute and press delete.
Right.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of code change. I will write up a plan on exactly what's going to happen and when on the actual issue once I get started on it.
Sounds good. All right, Steve, you're up.
Yeah, no worries. So this came out last night. So if you want to click that link, Jonas, there's some new CVEs that were discovered in Envoy. So here's the announcement from the Envoy team. So they've released, actually, which is nice, backported versions of 14, 13, and 12 as well. So if you're running, Contour 1.5, which is using Envoy 1.14.1, you can just upgrade Envoy to 1.14.2, and then this will go away. I'm sure we'll probably kick off a new release of Contour to include this as the default for the quick start and stuff. But for now, if you want to mitigate this problem right now, you can just upgrade to the 1.14.2 Envoy image and be on your way. So I just want to make sure everyone knew this came out and they had visibility into it.
Awesome. Any questions, comments on that one? Everyone frantically upgrading right now? All right. Does anyone have anything else they want to add to the community meeting today? All right. Then that concludes this week's community meeting, June 9th, 2020. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for commenting and voicing your concerns about different things here. Thank you all, and have a fantastic rest of your week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jonas. Nick, get some sleep.
Thank you. See
Bye.
you later.